Welcome back, everyone. It's time for us to test your South African sporting knowledge once again. It's not going to be easy, but it's not meant to be. You score more than 8 out of 10, you'll have done exceptionally well. We're ready. Here we go. Question 1. Who was the first South African to run a sub-4-minute mile? The first South African to run a sub-4-minute mile. Tough one to start with. The answer is De Villiers Lamprecht. De Villiers Lamprecht, first South African to run a sub-4-minute mile, and the first person in the world to do so barefoot. Fact. De Villiers Lamprecht, the answer to question 1. Question 2. Who holds the record for the most test tries for the Springboks? It should be a little easier. Who holds the record for the most test tries for the Springboks? The answer is Bryan Habana. Bryan Habana, and I will give you a bonus mark if you knew that he scored 67 test tries. But Bryan Habana was the answer we were looking for. Question 2. Question 3. Name the racehorse who was shot before the running of the Durban July Handicap and yet still managed to win the race. Interesting question. The answer is Sea Cottage. It happened in 1967, famously shot on a training run well ahead of the race, ended up recovering in time and finished up in a dead heat for first place with another horse called Jollify. But the answer we were looking for, question 3, Sea Cottage. Question 4. Who was the last man to play international rugby and cricket for South Africa? Who is the last man to play international rugby and cricket for South Africa? The answer you're looking for, Tony Harris. Tony Harris, answer to question 4. Question 5. What is football legend Dr. Khumalo's real first name? Dr. Khumalo's first name. The answer we're looking for, Theophilus. I kid you not. Dr. Khumalo's real first name, Theophilus. Question 6. We're on to boxing. Who did Gerrie Coetzee beat to become the first world heavyweight boxing champion from South Africa? Who did he beat to win the title? It happened in Ohio, stateside. The answer we were looking for, Michael Dokes. He beat Michael Dokes. So that's the answer we were looking for to question 6. Question 7, back to rugby. In which city was the first ever Springboks versus All Blacks rugby test played? In which city? Well done if you said Dunedin. It happened in 1921. Dunedin, the venue for the first ever All Blacks Springboks Rugby International. Question 8, cricket. Who took South Africa's first test wicket upon readmission to international cricket in the 1990s? Our first test wicket upon readmission in the 1990s. Well done if you said Richard Snell. It was in April of 1992 against the West Indies, first test wicket upon readmission in the 1990s for South Africa, taken by Richard Snell. Question 9. In which sport did Princess Charlene of Monaco once represent South Africa at the Olympic Games? Which sport? You get the point to question 9 if you said swimming. The answer, swimming. And your 10th and final question, who scored the Springboks' first ever 5-point try in Test rugby? The first ever 5-point try in Test rugby. Who scored that for the Springboks? Congratulations if you identified Danie Gerber. Danie Gerber, it was against New Zealand, 1992, first ever 5-point try for the Springboks in Test rugby. So there we go. 10 questions done and dusted. How did you get on? Scores in the comments, please. Hopefully you did better this time than you did in the last quiz. Look out for the next one. It's coming up soon.